Zanster versus Cass. Guys, just before this, though, I've got a big shout out. Walgren78 with the $100 donation. Can we get some love in the chat for Walgren? And the and his 78 at the end of his name, too. And the $100. Dude, thank you so much for what is beyond expectations whenever we stream. Thank you so much for a very generous donation, dude. Let's see a big round of love in the chat, guys. Whether you've got Wardy hearts, usual hearts, whatever you want to do to show some love, show it right now for Walgren. $100, dude. Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be mentioning that again throughout the stream. Thank you so much for being an absolute god. And as we go into Cass versus Zanster, just a minute or two late into this, we're watching the end of DNS versus Geralt. As we do have to the bottom right-hand side the blue Terran player Cass from Ukraine going up against the red Zerg player Zanster from Sidestorm Gaming to the top left-hand side. He's, of course, our Swedish Zerg player here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly check the bracket as well, as these lings don't seem to be getting up to much. We'll just follow someone for a second. So the winner bracket is over. It's now all about the lower bracket. What do we want to jump into over here? Stefano Real if it didn't start. That is what? Ah, it started, damn it. No? Real's still in the lobby. Maybe we can grab Stefano Real still then. Alright, so maybe try and get into Stefano Real on our second screen. Again, the winner of Cass versus Zanster will actually go up against a Muslim. So I'm pretty happy to kind of go into the follow-up match of this on the main screen. But I think we would generally like to get into Stefano's matchup as well to kind of keep track of things over on the other side. So let's talk about this game. We're 4 minutes in, and we do see a Ghost Academy is down. So this is actually, again, apologies, I've been checking out and making sure other games get going, but it's actually a pretty interesting opening. The Ghost opener. Zanster sees a Tech Lab barracks, but he doesn't actually see the Ghost just yet. Was he watching when the Ghost came out? Well, that's actually not a guaranteed thing. The Ghost actually will turn around to get this Overlord. We'll use the snipe to kill it quickly. Second Ghost on the way. I mean, Zanster now already kind of knows what's going on here. So he has a bit of an idea about what's happening in that regard. This Ghost just continuing to work his way through this Ovi. Aliens gathering up together as a Marine coming out as well will be able to kill the Overlord off. So Overlord going down. Armory coming in from Cass as well in the main base. So that's going to be finishing up in just a few moments as well. Another couple of Hellions coming out. Obviously the whole idea of there's a big Hellbat attack. With a couple of Ghosts to support, they can snipe Queens. They could EMP a Queen. Take down the ability to transfuse. It makes it a very powerful attack. Two Ghosts going to be coming across to the upper side at the moment. Seeing what they can get up to here. Starting to push on forwards. You're going to be seeing the Hellbats being given some space at the moment. We're going to see the Bane starting to come forwards. Well, actually, the split was okay-ish in the end. Not brilliant, though. Has to split again. A few more Banelings ready. Zanster's continuing to move forwards. Looks as though he's going to clean this up without much issue, actually. The Ghosts don't have cloaking nowadays, so actually it's you have to research it. And that means that these Ghosts are going to go down. They didn't even get the snipes off because they've been under damage all the way through. And while taking damage, obviously you can't really snipe, so that does sort of suck. As you're going to see, the snipe does take down an Overlord at least, but now both Ghosts killed. I would say this has been a very, very successful setup here so far from our Zerg. I mean, he's defended. Cass didn't really get enough damage done to justify committing into two Ghosts already. The Ghost Academy. And his third CC is up. He's heading into Hellions. He's played mech here on Catalyst, but I really feel that Zanster's already put himself into a pretty strong position. Is the Muslim out? Asks just a young capper in the chat. Nope. He is going to be playing the winner of this series, actually. So that's going to be coming up very, very soon. As Cass and Zanster get finished up here in this action. We do see a lock on actually to an Overseer. Overseer taking a little bit of damage at the moment. It looks as though it will go down. Overseer falls, and Ling's just going to head in towards the main base to the top side. Well, Rotron is about to finish up in the main from Zanster too. So Rotron finishing shortly. Just going to play into Roaches. I mean, it's mech, right? It makes a lot of sense to build Roaches. Probably switch in towards Hydras as well a little bit later on once... Well, he's already got a Hydralist den! Well, there you go, guys. He's already playing Roach Hydra, which is exactly what we expect. As, yeah, Blue Flame Hellions are on the way up as well. So obviously Blue Flame helps against what is oftentimes a Swarm Host response to mech. Blue Flame Hellions are almost essential there. And they're actually pretty good, obviously, against, for example, the... God damn it. Those are pretty good against Hydras, for example. They can take those down pretty quickly and stuff like that. And we are going to be seeing those Hellions trying to push forwards. We do see this. Hatchet gets killed. No cancel. A little bit of a shame. As we do see these couple of Banes pushing forwards. And we are seeing those... He's actually still struggling to deal with this. That Blue Flame on the Hydras, we just mentioned it. Working out here, and he's going to get maybe another Hydra kill. Transfuse saves it. A bit of back and forth there, though. Zanster losing some units, as does Cass. Zanster losing that fourth hatchery, especially though when he could have cancelled it. Would have been a shame. Creep spreading forwards as we will see the infestation pit dropping into the main. So there is maybe... I mean, it's one of two things. You either move into Swarm Hosts here as Zanster, or you move in towards the Hive, which obviously leads you in towards Vipers, which are a really good way of dealing with the tanks. He's coming forwards, and they're going to be able to try and go for some Hydras here. Gets one of them. The rest coming into the center. +2 missile attack starts up here. Again, just continuing to this Roach Hydra style as the infestation pit finishes. I am interested to see the choice that's made. We haven't seen a lot of Swarm Hosts lately, but I feel like Zanster doesn't really have the money to build Swarm Hosts, so Hive maybe feels like the more kind of expected way to go here. Hatchery sets up off to the left-hand side. Hive does start up for now. I mean, he could still go Swarm Host, but I think he's just pouring way too much into the Roaches, the Hydras, that he just doesn't really have the opportunity. Center will finish here from Cass, so the CC finishing, he's going to be able to push forwards in towards maybe even the center. He's going to go to the left. Okay, he'll go to the left. With mech, I think you can take the center of the map quite often, and especially against Roach Hydra. I think it works out quite nicely. If against Swarm Host, the bottom left is a bit better because it's harder for the Swarm Host to come down here. Whereas if the Swarm Hosts are here, you don't know whether you're going to have to respond to an attack here or an attack here. Again, with Roach Hydra, it's a bit easier because you just set up a general siege line and it does cover both positions. Cass is pushed in, and Zanster, I don't really know what went wrong for him this game. It kind of felt like the first attack was really just fine for him. But right now, he's down on supply, about to be dealing with this mech army, which is pushing towards the upper left. I just do not know where this really went wrong. I just don't have an answer to that. A few Hellbats morphing in, a couple more tanks will siege up. And these Hellbats just gathering together, and we are going to be seeing this hatchery falling in the next few moments. Hive just pushing in on the right-hand side, coming through, and well, again, a lot of Blue Flame Hellions are just going to destroy this. Look at that. That's not a good trade for Zanster. I think he might just be dead. This attack on the top left, where he didn't even really try to fight it, but just so many Hydras lost on the other side. That really, really hurts. Well, a couple of Vipers are finally on the way, but have been a bit late. Vipers are nice when you have an army that can put out enough damage, that can clean up. It's obviously not really the case here right now with what we're seeing. Moves into the center. I thought this was going to be the fourth. I guess it works as the fifth base as well. Takes it pretty quickly anyways. 4 overlords into the main. We'll start to unload Roaches and Hydras, so he is going to start getting a little bit of damage here. Already a siege tank found, and I mean, this is the sort of drop play that Zanster needs to start maybe pulling this mech army apart. Gather some more units down the left-hand side, so try and play a play there soon as well. So these Roaches and Hydras off to the right, and we are going to be seeing the Hellions and tanks firing away. Only a couple tanks over here, but it might just about be enough as one tank falls, another tank falls. Okay, he actually will be able to get some damage done as well. Cass, not really with anything else nearby. So as the drop in the main gets cleaned out, suddenly Zanster at least will get some damage on the third base as well. The multi-pronged starting to work out quite well for him. SCV's getting back to repairing just in time, perhaps. Oh my god, it just goes down. 1 or 2 less Hydras, and that would have been a completely different story. That CC might have just survived. Hellions, Hellbats continuing to chase. Zanster re-establishing his forward bases now. Against the mech, he's going to need everything he can get. Still has these Vipers, yet to really see them do much more than a couple of abducts here or there. Yet to see them really be an influential part of a major fight. Drop the Lords to the right-hand side once more, setting themselves up here. Roaches and Hydras down the left. We'll get abducted on a couple of tanks again. 3 pickings here. Nothing goes down for that, actually. It's a lot of Hellions that are being used right now from Cass. I wouldn't mind if he started running a few of these up to the top right-hand side. Nothing to lose. 5-6 Hellions in this mineral line could get so much damage done. But once you get so much damage done there, I mean, it only costs you like a few Hellions, and you can replace those with more tanks, and that's only going to benefit you. I mean, I guess it's not in the issue of being maxed out, but I still think the damage you do is kind of worth the 5 or 6 Hellions, because these Hellions are so replaceable. Cass has a lot of money that he's not spending at the moment, though, as Zanster comes in the bottom left. I don't know how Zanster really turned this around so heavily, because he really looked so awful when this army was in the top left-hand side of his position. Did not look great at all. He is going to lose this, but again, he's denying bases recently. He is going to get 2 siege tanks as he exits, and getting rid of tanks is always going to hurt the meching player. These roaches will continue to fall, and again, more units down the right-hand side. Zanster up by 20 supply. $82 drones. Obviously, now that he does have the bases up, means that he has a very significant amount of economy. 4 Overlords will want to head in towards the main. There is these turrets coming up to try and defend this time around. We'll see if it'll be successful. Royal one's being killed off somewhere. Finally, some Hellbat drops coming in. I still feel like you can just run Hellions around. Don't think it needs to be fancy dropping Hellbats. Anyways, these units in the main will force some units to reposition and come and deal with it at least, and I think that's good enough, right? Oh, well, he lifts up and he'll lose the Overlords. Too many Vikings here, unfortunately. Hydra 2 will drop out, but this time it was an unsuccessful attempt from Zanster. Hellbats in the main not only do further damage, but they will also see that greater spire on the way up. So Cass, I mean, he already has a lot of Vikings. Now he knows for sure that this is definitely something that's on the way. Last Drop Lord goes down as well, and Zanster loses out on the right-hand side. He still doesn't have this bank that Zerg players usually have to play with when playing against a mech army. Usually you'd want to like fight once, you know, maybe trade not great, but still well enough, and then you remax and go again. Zanster doesn't have that option because he just doesn't have the money to make it work. A couple of abducts forwards, 2 more tanks going down. Hellions chasing the Hydras back, and this time again, I feel like we're in the situation we're back on when this was on the left side of the map. Well, a parasitic bomb is nice, but the Vikings land very swiftly. And I guess why fight in the air and take damage from parasitic bombs if you can just join the ground fight and be successful there. But it just doesn't look like Zanster really has anything to take this down. Nothing reliable anyways. A handful of Queens, a couple Hydras, yes. The counterattack is nice. He might get this CC. Does that matter when there's reinforcements that can clean the army up eventually, and when Cass still holds 4 bases? You're sitting in the bottom left-hand side, pushing forwards here. Corruptors taking some damage, pulling back a little bit. Tanks leading forwards as well. Another Queen, Roach, Hydra's going down. And this is looking as though, well, the Broodlords may... I mean, do the Broodlords save him here? Because there isn't even that many Corruptors anymore. The Vikings can kite the Corruptors as well, of course. He's going to get rid of a couple of them pretty quickly. He's actually standing and fighting. I feel if he kites, he gets rid of the Corruptors, he gets rid of the Broodlords. But now the Broodlords will save the day. They will keep this alive. I mean, reinforcements starting to stream across the map anyways. Can the Broodlords kill all of this mech army in time? This left-hand side base will probably fall, which puts Zanster back down to 4 bases. And if that top right base survives, well, that might just be a miracle anyway. He's arrived already, and the drones at least are going to be falling. Tanks going to get a couple more Hydras here. Top right base, Hellions and tanks continue to fight against this hatch. I mean, it's going down, there's no doubt about it. Tanks over here could move a bit further forwards and get rid of these Hydras. That's not really a major issue either. I mean, where even are the Broodlords right now? I actually don't know. They died? Okay, they died. Well, there you go, the Broodlords died in the meantime somewhere along the way. How the hell did the Broodlords die? There wasn't any Vikings. Maybe a couple showed up while we were watching these counterattacks elsewhere. But Zanster is in trouble. He has not got anything left on the top side of the map. A 4th base starts to build on the far left-hand side, but again, it's rebuilding a 4th. I mean, he doesn't actually have a natural either. He is in trouble. Below 100 supply. He has denied the economy of Cass, but not enough. You see these Vikings, tanks, Hellions. Well, they're going to be, with the missile turret, able to push those Corruptors back, and I like it. The land, just in case the Corruptors dive in for that low health Viking until you can get the SCVs on it to repair. So a couple of tanks just left here. Blind Cloud, I guess, will actually be a pretty successful way of doing this. So it's cleaned out, but again, it's another army from Cass that can just move across any second now. And it's Zanster again. There's this stage of the game where it's over, we're waiting for the GG, and Cass just throwing units all over the place. And this time there's not even going to be Broodlords to save Zanster. That's the only reason he's still alive, that the kind of Broodlords just about saved him last time around. This time that's not really going to be an option here. "16 drones dead in recent moments." Cass playing it safe just in case some Broodlords come out, apparently just waiting for more Vikings, maybe even just waiting to max out before he makes that next push towards the upper left-hand side of the map. Command will be dropping any moment now. Tank siege, Hellions nearby, Vikings overhead. Wheels will drop down on towards the base, and we are having a moment or two as +2 ship weapon starts. Now a moment or two as Hiders and Roaches are going to try and maybe attack once again with the Vipers in tow, but still one of these games where we're kind of waiting for the GG, waiting to get into game 2, getting ready for the next one along. Doesn't make sense that Medivacs can heal Hellbats but not Hellions? Of course it does. When a Hellion transforms into a Hellbat, they somehow gain biological status. Duh! God. See, it's actually quite clever, because you think Medivacs are really technologically advanced, but the simple trick is, Hellbats actually look a little bit like Marauders, and the Medivac actually doesn't realize it's a Hellbat. It actually just thinks it's a Marauder, so it just heals it anyways. Turns out the Terrans didn't realize this, and actually Medivacs can heal mech units too, they just haven't turned it on. Who knew? GG's. Cass takes game 1 of the series, and will be screen if there is an opportunity. For now, though, we do want to focus up on our main screen match, and that is to the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player, Cass, versus the bottom right-hand side, red Zerg player, Zanster, here on Asset Plant. Cascade versus Sidestorm Gaming, Terran versus Zerg, 1 versus 0 in the scoreline in favor of Cass after that first game. SCVs and Hellbats should not be by. I'm telling you, Medivacs just don't realize that Hellbats aren't Marauders and that SCVs aren't Marines. They just don't see the difference. I actually think it's very nice of Medivacs to not care about the attributes of attributes of certain units and just to heal Hellbats. It's 2018. Should we really not allow certain units to be healed by a Medivac just because they're mechanical? That's attributist. The racist version of attributes. I don't know. Don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to stop right there. Fatty987, what's up? The 20-month resub. Ahoy! How's it going, man? Thank you so much for the 20 months. Thank you so much for the 20 months of resubscribing. Vocal Athlete 95 with the cheer 10 in the chat. What's up? That's your 35th set of bits today. Thank you so much for the 35 bits overall. Unless I miscounted somewhere, in which case I apologize. I think it's 35, 10, 10, and 15. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. Listening to the sewage of Asset Plant, how wonderful. What's more enticing to convince people to watch StarCraft 2 than saying you can watch a waterfall of sewage in the early stages of a game? Honestly, I actually think this is a great addition to the game. Because, I mean, people watch the first 20 minutes of League of Legends game. It's pretty much the same thing. Waterfall of sewage, 20 minutes of League of Legends. And that's pretty popular. No wonder StarCraft viewership's going up. Sorry, League of Legends fans. I'm just memeing. I appreciate you as an esport. And before someone clips this and I get castrated by League players. Ay, ay, ay. Wardy's adorable. I want to rub his belly and tell him he's a good boy. I don't really have a response to that. Thank you. Maybe. I don't know if you've realized, but I'm not a dog. But maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know that. Command Center drops down from Cass in the main is a gasless second gas, which means he is just a very fast free CC. Pretty much the fastest you can get within while being realistic. You can go with kind of a gasless free CC completely, but that's kind of crazy, and we never see that, so nothing, not surprising to kind of actually not see it be the case here, because that would actually be really insane. Stim starts up pretty quickly. We'll see probably just the 4 Hellions coming out before this factory switches away to build another reactor. 2 more barracks coming down, and then going in towards engineering bays, extra gases, and the rest of the game, more or less. Vandal 009, thank you so much for the 6-month free sub. Do appreciate it. Third CC about to finish here. Actually, let's quickly jump on over to this ZvT. Big fight going on Israel, trying to push through the center of the map, but Stefano greets him on the edge of the creep spread, and he has an absolutely monstrous engagement. Sorry, just called that at the last few seconds there, but Stefano does just grab game number 1 of that Zerg versus Protoss matchup as he continues his campaign through the lower bracket of this qualifier. A few Hellions and a Reaper gathering on up. There's those 2 extra barracks we talked about, the extra gas coming into play as well, setting up in towards that bio play as we expected. And the engineering base too, I mean, it's a very predictable setup. It's a build that everyone's going to know more or less. Just Zanster here, well, he saw the 3rd CC and he saw the timing of it as well, so actually Zanster got the scout which tells him everything about what's going on more or less. Obviously that's great for him, he'll know exactly what's happening here. Second depot will come down towards the front. Gas finishing up on the natural. Baliness is on the way up here from Zanster as well. As we do see 1-1 melee upgrades just on the way out. It's 1-1 melee coming through. Feelings just nibbling their way through these rocks. Hellions just going to peel off away to the left-hand side. Just going to see what they can do. We do have this orbital moving forwards into the 3rd base location, of course. One upgrades on the way along. Combat shields coming through as well, and again, Baneless speed and a Hydra Den dropping down. Showing the Link Bane Hydra against the bio pretty much as we would expect. More Lings moving forwards. And again, so far, good stuff from Zanster. He's been shutting down those Hellions. He hasn't really allowed them to do anything. Shut them down completely for only 4 Zerglin kills. It's actually pretty nice. We've seen some more Lings trying to approach the front. Sorry, I'm just trying to get us into game 2 of Stefano versus Rail. Just trying to make sure we get that before they start. Please don't say they started. That would suck. There you go, got it. Sorry guys, just making sure we got that there. Just as the drop comes into the main base, so let's go into this here as we're going to be seeing, well, Marines, well, going to be greeted by this Link Bane Hydra, so not really a successful drop. I guess it keeps the units over here though. I never really like this from Terran players anymore. The more I watch this, the more I just feel like the drops in the main never work out. It's the drops on the map that are actually so much more devastating. When you're able to pick up the creep team or two, you know, sometimes you can YOLO the drops in the main and they're successful, but yeah, and I guess it's not, you know, bad to try now and then, but it is nice to kind of just clean up the creep and to stop this creep from moving around, because it's so much more important for how your later game's going to go and being able to kind of push on further later on in the series, later on the map. So yeah, a little bit intriguing there. Guys, the winner of this does play against the Muslim, but it's not a qualifying match. The winner of this plays the Muslim, the winner of that plays the winner of Stefano Rail, and the winner of that plays Geralt. So it's a long way from a qualifying match still. Well, a long way off a qualifying match right now, so you guys are going to have to be a little bit patient there as we do see this Overlord from early game gets taken down. Since never really had a reason to use that Overlord, as he doesn't get these medevacs either. Nice lift up from Cass, quick response when he realized that these units were on top of him. See a tank shot firing away, some Lings having to back off right away there. Not going to push into this position. Hive on the way up from Zanster, who with the Ling Bane Hydra has created a pathway to that Hive tech without really being under much pressure or under much threat of the Terran army. Cass' second factory is on the way now as well, pumping out those siege tanks. And if he wants to, a big 2-2 timing, I'm not sure if it's going to be too great actually. He's quite slow on the 2-2, plus 2 armor at least. If he goes for it, I mean, it can maybe get into a good position and kill off a base. You might just have to start thinking about how to deal with late game Zanster, because again, Hive's already finishing up. Usually +2/+2 is a good time to attack because it lines up with when the Zerg is investing into Hive tech, but it's not already there. It just seems so difficult nowadays with Ling Bane Hydra being such a sturdy kind of composition. It really makes it difficult to kind of really punish the Zerg player for taking up into Hive, because they already have still a strong army on the map. You know, Zanster sits at 82 drones, so he has the excess money to tech up with, and he comes in just at a great time to shut down this planetary fortress potentially. It's not going to be killed off just yet. 3 Marines starting to come in here. Lings and Banes will back away with the Hydras. Planetary survives. 5 workers killed, so it wasn't all for nothing, at least for Zanster's point of view. But he will rotate his entire army to the top right side and maybe look for the 4th base. At least it looked like he was. He's going to stop right now. Just a little bit shy of it. So he is going to come up this ramp. Oh no, Cass is in some trouble. He's not split at all. He's not ready for a fight. Oh no. Oh, my Terran heart bleeds for Cass right now, because this is the last thing he wanted here. These Banelings are going to just help the planetary fortress along into the next life as these medevacs go down too. I mean, that is just an absolutely disastrous moment. I mean, when those Banes come up the ramp and Marines are all clumped together, some, you know, there's Lings leading the charge, so the Banes don't even get targeted down before they start reaching the Marines. It's just so devastating for a Terran, and that is pretty much the worst possible scenario you could run into. As now we see more Banelings being added on, and obviously Zanster is feeling the momentum. You know, he's got Hive, but why actually produce Hive tech if he can just Ling Bane Hydra with an advantage? Free for him is on the way as well. He doesn't know that Cass's free isn't building, but I mean, he hasn't seen it yet, so he's still going to be feeling pretty good about continuing with fights. Medevac goes down, full of Marines to a couple of Hydras, and it's another advantage for Zanster as he maxes out. Here we go. I'd love to still to see a couple of Vipers added into play here, but I guess at the end of the day, it's still not needed. He is just that far ahead from the previous fight. He was right to rematch on Ling Bane Hydra, because he can just end the game right here and now. GG. And Zanster. Cass vs Zanster starting up on the picture-in-picture right now. Proxy 4Rax has got a bunker on the way, no response from Zanster. Okay, response from Zanster is a Rotoron. So Rotoron coming up in that regard. Okay, well, here we go. Actually, Stefano's going to have to deal with the Zealot warping in the main base. Warping a couple of high tempo too, so once again, Archon in there. The army supplies are still so similar. This fight's going to be interesting. Again, Baneling's getting a good clump of Zealots all at once. War Prison has to stay alive. Archon will survive and might be able to get a couple of these Hydras low on health. Not really enough though, I don't think. Now the lack of Zealots is hurting this army on the low ground too. This is a little bit painful. Meanwhile, in the Zanster Cascade, okay, I think we're going to swap to that now because it looks as though Stefano, he's killed off the tech units. It looks as though that's going to be a win. Let's swap this around then. Let's go into the Zanster Cascade because Zanster's losing his natural expansion. We're going to leave Stefano versus Rail on the picture-in-picture if you want to watch it from there. But yes, Zanster Cass. And you can already see Zanster loses his hatchery, but that's okay because Zanster's planning on losing the hatchery because he's gone for the roach respawns. It's 4 racks, so he's allowed to lose a hatchery. It's something he's, you know, it works out for him here. Stefano does pick up that game against Rail, wins the series 2-0. So full focus now on the TPC. We will see. I mean, he breaks through this bunker. He'll break through bunker number 2 as well. Maybe loses the Queen. That hurts. Going after a couple of the Marines in the back. The roaches continue to move past. Well, he will get the bunker, which is nice. Now it's just Marines, and of course, back at home, Cass has nothing. No gas already. And that's something, you know, if this were 2 racks going roaches, you can't give up the natural like this because the follow-up from the Terran is just too economically favored for them in that regard. In this situation, this is completely fine. This works out. And we are going to be seeing these Zerglings still gathering, Marines still gathering together from Cass. Try and push forwards and to try and get something going. Once you're going to see these roaches are coming forwards to fight. Maybe unnecessary from Zanster. Pulling back towards the spine crawler, that's something you can always rely on, of course. And Zanster rebuilding this hatchery too, so again back up to the 2 bases versus the 1 base of the Terran player here. Just bringing so many of these Marines low makes his life a little bit easier later, although he does lose a Roach. Loses a 2nd Roach, loses a 3rd Roach. Gets a good few Marines, but again, maybe a bit unnecessary to lose that many Roaches. Gets a few more on the way, as we do see 8 drones on the way up. Factory coming in from Cass at home, and Zanster just sees this now, so he knows the timing of this. He knows roughly what's going on in terms of when his opponent can have what. And I think Zanster will just be like, okay, a spy at the front for now should be enough. The SCVs aren't being pulled because you're building a factory. I think Zanster should just say, cool, I'm safe, I'm alive. A few more Roaches just pushing forward. See Marines going to start fighting. We are going to be seeing, oh, first Roach going down again. I mean, it's a lot of Marines, remember. It's a lot of Marines coming out here every now and then. CC finally starts to cast. These barracks are heading home, and that's something which Zanster will see, so he'll finally know that Marine production is halted for a while. Just imagine you didn't lose all those Roaches before. Maybe now, as higher Roach numbers come to be, you can really get aggressive with this. Anyways, as it stands, you are just going to be seeing creep starting to spread out in a couple different directions, up to the left-hand side, off to the right. These few Marines are going to start pushing their way through this Overlord, so that's going to get picked off. So Overlord being picked away at here. That's something. It's something. Marines heading back home. I mean, Kakas is still playing from such a deficit. As these Roaches come forwards again, I mean, these barracks spend a lot of time flying. A tank on the way to maybe just try and keep him alive for as long as possible. The thing is, Zanster doesn't even need to push in and do damage. You can just sort of hold the low ground, slow this down. The Roaches will move up. And we are going to be seeing those Marines starting to do some damage at the moment. And then those Roaches having to pull back down to the low ground here. Backing away once more. Stimpack starting up from Cass. Tank does siege, and well, Zanster just taking this as an opportunity to take a 3rd hatchery. It's going to be finished before the natural of Cass is in position. 4 more drones on the way up. Evolution chambers building as well. And that's going to come down to this side. So Bane Nest on the way, finally just switching it up in towards a Ling Bane style after the initial Roach defense against the Thorax. The game isn't going to go anywhere for a few moments, though. We are going to just sort of sit back and chill out for a little while here. We are going to have a little bit where not much will happen, but again, when you're doubling the work account, it's still good for Zanster. This still was a successful hold. This was a successful early game. It's just, it's difficult to end the game with slow Roaches, right? Instead, you can play Ling Bane, maybe even play Ling Bane Ravager, or you can play Ling Bane Hydra. There's no reason he couldn't tech up in towards him. He already has the lair, so there's no reason he can't go into Ling Bane Hydra if he wants to. I mean, there's so many ways for him to play this out. There's no 3rd base from Cass. I mean, he's on 5 racks, so... Sorry, he's still only on the 4. I thought he might have added a 5th. So, I mean, he might just play an aggressive kind of all-in cast from these 2 bases, but even then, Zanster has a huge economy to make units to deal with that. So that's looking pretty great there, as we will see this medevac is starting to come across to the left-hand side. Bane and Speed will begin as well. Obviously, that lair being finished gives him a lot of options in terms of what you can start going in toward. Drop to the left, unsuccessful in every way. Just doesn't do anything. Again, I guess it doesn't die. It doesn't lose any units. Just doesn't find anything to actually make work here. 1-1 melee unit upgrade still coming through as well, and yeah, just one of those weird games where there's not a lot to say because it's not very standard. We're waiting for upgrades to finish before either player is really going to look for a fight. It's still Zanster's game. Look at how fast those upgrades are in comparison to Cass's non-existent upgrades. He's going to have 1-1 versus 0-0. He's still 30 drones ahead. You know, yes, right now maybe it doesn't look crazy in terms of, okay, the army supplies are similar, but it's going to be 1-1 for the Zerg, right? Like, there's so much to think about there. Look at this income lead that Zanster's just growing over time. Yeah, the army size is staying similar, but if we had a graph for tech, Cass's graph would be flatlining, and Zanster's would just be continuing to spike on upwards. There's the Hieroglyphs Den as well. 2-2 will start. Again, Zanster with just everything that's going to keep pushing him further and further into the lead in this game. just got news that Bly versus TLO will be our next game on the second monitor. So that's coming up very shortly, guys. Have some updates coming in from that in the near future. Again, we're going to be casting the winner of Cass versus Zanster against a Muslim. Then we'll follow the winner of that through into their match against Stefano. As we do see and Banes coming forwards already. Actually going to keep on coming forwards. The tanks are very late to siege. I mean, the Banes can just crash into anything they want to here because there's just so many units from Zanster. He comes on through. Every tank goes down. Cass will GG. The 4-axe didn't work. Zanster 2, Cass